Yo, what's up, it's Scro. I'm a music producer guy in Glendale, California. Check out what's going on with my hair. Is it cool or what? So a long time ago, I tweeted, anyone want to collab, bro? And Andy from Worst Party Ever responded. And then he sent me some voice memos of him playing guitar right back. So you'll also notice in this track that there's a metronome behind it. Headphones on. So check out the metronome that you can hear. The one click is on 4. Andy, I don't know what the hell you were thinking, but I actually kind of like it at the end. So to start with the track, I added my own little guitar thingies, some reverse electric guitar, because I didn't want to just pop in an electric guitar into an electronic track. So for the first impact, I have this synth sound, a little bit of filter automation, and this is 2 default synthesizers that Reaper has. One of them is a little bit out of tune, so it kind of creates this detune effect. Got my clock sample, gotta get that because I'm obsessed with Zed and I just want to be just like him. For the hit, I got some weird impact sounds. This is sample from the Nintendo Wii. So it kind of sounds like it's from Pikmin or something. I just stretched that boy out. I added in this other synth sound, which is just a sample that I got from Cymatic's Porter Robinson pack. Just had one sample and laid it out throughout the keys. Got this really lush, I don't even know what to call this, but I call it my Robinson pad. Just another producer that I'm trying to steal everything from. So hopefully you can hear, there's this weird automation here at the end. And that's just some simple volume automation. And if you couldn't tell what it was, I got the snare drum playing along with it. And put it all together. And then boom, the main event. Let's listen to this thing. How about that drag? So this drag, I created really easy. I just started off with a normal kick and snare pattern. And then I actually just performed some hi-hat random thing. So I'll perform it again for you live in the studio. Sometimes I'm early with it, sometimes I'm late. I don't really have a method to doing it. I'm just kind of doing it all drunk like. Then for all the synth stuff right there, you can see I just have these ramp automations. So when we listen to all these synth sounds, they're all low pass. I didn't really want something like really big right here. I wanted this sort of anti-drop where you have this really big build and then it just kind of chills and it makes you go, whoa. So we got some impulse. The other sound is actually straight from my synthesizer right here. And then layer that in with the bass sound. Put it all together. For this sound, it's really cool what I did. I have Reaper's default synthesizers resynth, and I have 2 of them. But one of them is kind of wavering in and out of tune with the other synth that just stays perfectly in tune. So it creates this really interesting phasing detune sound. Now this whole synth stack, the entire thing has a low pass filter on it, but I wanted it to sound a little bit brighter in this section. So I actually added that Porter Robinson pad again, but just in a different area. So you can really hear all that nice high hissing twinkly on the top. So then when you really put all the sounds together, so this is one of the favorite things that I do in any of my songs because I just do it all the time. I've been doing this since I was a wee lad in FL Studio in middle school, doing all these arpeggio things. And I didn't input each single note in there. That would be insane. So while it's playing, I'm just adding more notes for it to kind of play through. So there's 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, 6 notes. I'm doing that as well as automating the tempo of the arpeggio down. So there's more notes being added, but it's also getting a little bit slower and slower as time goes on. Afterwards, I do the exact opposite and I make the tempo go faster. I also have a low fast filter opening it up to just create some more animation and some more movement in that. So for this weird little sound right after the drop, call it the noise lead. Out of all things, I think that this is a sample of a car tire screeching, and all I did is pitch it and then play it on the keyboard, so then I can play notes out of it. So in the second half of the first drop, I have all these kind of cute, kawaii, Japanese sounding things going on. I got my fun block. I got this crank sound. And I got a shaker. The most important sound in all of this is right here. I asked everyone in Worst Party Ever to send me a sample of them just clapping their hands, and Ben said, oh, I'm gonna clap my butt instead. And this goes in very nicely to the melodica solo. For those who don't know, a melodica is this weird piano thing that you blow into and it kind of sounds like a harmonica. So I really wanted this section to sound real cute and kawaii and Japanese sound. I have this glockenspiel, got this pan flute and like stringed Japanese instrument. And I have these cute little sawtooth plucks that keeps the rhythm going. As well as those same percussive elements coming in all together. Can't you just see like the cute anime bunnies like walking around in a field of grass? Dude, this is so cute, honestly. Got a few builds, got our arpeggio thing getting faster and faster with the low patch, just some faster snare sounds. So let's check out something really important that I did here. In this vocal sample, I have this rhythm. Can't hear it that much, it's kind of buried in the full mix. Right before the drop, the drums are playing that same rhythm. Then, on the actual drop, that's what the synthesizer plays. Additionally, this nice little percussive sound after the sort of drum fill rhythm, to me, holds a lot of meaning because I went back to the recordings of me in college marching band playing drumline when I recorded the drumline in like 2013, and I stole a sample of the bass drums hitting their rim. And then I layered that up with some other sort of rim shot samples. So that sound right there is actually the Big 8 drum line playing in my song. How beautiful is that? The thing that adds the most groove in this section is this hi-hat. And this is actually Kyle, the drummer for Worst Party Ever. I asked him to send me a sample of him just playing the hi-hats by himself, this accent tap pattern. And without it, the whole thing sounds stupid. No groove, super boring, so bring it back in. I also have this dope drum fill that I play live and is super fun to play. My favorite part of it is these hand-to-hand splits between the kick drum and the toms, which is really tough to do, and I practiced super hard to do that, but I did it live. Boom. In this next little part, I had this fun little sound coming in. And what's going on there is I have my arpeggio synth sound that you hold down a chord and it kind of arpeggiates through it. But instead of holding down chords for it, I'm just kind of... This nice little section right before the whole thing kind of breaks down. There's actually a huge polyrhythm that's going on that I hope at least one person was able to catch. If we listen to this huge synth stack with these little tom fills, it's this big phrase that's in 6. But everything else is playing in 4. So when you put it all together, there's sort of like this weird off-time syncopated synth thing going on, but it's really just a polyrhythm. I add a buttload of reverb and everything kind of washes out into the background. And then this riser right here, if we take off all the effects and squish it back into how long it's supposed to be.
Too late.
One of the samples Andy sent me, in the beginning of it, he says,
Too late.
So I stretched that out, added a bunch of effects to it, and I got this. So when you hear the whole thing together, boom, and all that kind of sucks in to this huge kick drum. These samples right here on the last drop, these are different sounds than I used in the beginning of it. I really wanted these huge, fat, stereotypical EDM sounds here at the end. Additionally, the snare has this interesting reverb where there's actually a pre-delay on it. So it waits about 170 milliseconds, and then kind of explodes into the reverb. If we turn that pre-delay down and have the reverb hit exactly when the snare hits, it's just not as explosive sounding, right? So we put that pre-delay on it. It sounds like it's almost sucking into itself and then exploding out afterwards. Let's check out these big synth stacks that are being kind of pumped in and out. So to sidechain this, I actually just did volume automation. Let's listen to every single sound that we got. And then I actually added the original guitar sample that I was sent. So all together. You'll also see at the beginning of every 4 measures, I have this pitch automation that goes up into the intended pitch. And that sounds really cool on this part where it's just the arpeggio playing. In here in this first drop, I have me singing all of these like random harmonies. Super out of tune, but that's just me singing one note, doubling it, and then pitching it up in octaves. And I kind of like what I did here. Everything started on the same note, and then it kind of branched into its own note. And let's check out the main lyrics of this whole thing that actually Kyle, the drummer, sent me. I just keep on fighting. I just keep on fighting. I added in these little counter melodies. And all those are fake. I just kind of pitched it into what I wanted it to be. I didn't even re-record it, which would have been way easier, but... And that's kind of it, dude. That is how I made some weird future bass vibes with a rock, punk, whatever band. And I really dug doing it, and I thought it was an awesome product that I came up with. Let me know if you have any questions about this in the comments. I definitely want to do more production style videos, just nerding out about synthesizers and weird techniques and stuff like that. So, peace.